Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 16. We are just mere days away from AEW's Full Gear, so that's going to be one of the topics that we talk about. We're going to be previewing that show, also talking a little bit about NXT versus AEW, and the ratings also came out this week, and that was really close. We're going to touch a little bit on that. The new Disney Plus app, comes out on Tuesday. Matt and I are going to briefly touch on that, along with some UFC 244 thoughts. That was a really good pay-per-view that ended in some controversy. I will touch on that, and Matt will more than likely go silent as he normally does. And
I can add into something because I watched it too.
Okay, yeah.
Do I remember a lot from it? No, not because of anything, but because I don't. Moving on.
Moving on now, and we will discuss, as we do here on the podcast, it would be the NFL, and we shall get into that. But first, Matt's going to discuss a little bit about the Disney Plus app, as that, as I said, is dropping this Tuesday, November 12th.
Say goodbye to our lives, John.
Yeah, essentially.
Bye. Tuesday, it's over.
It's over, as the broken one once said.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. Maybe.
Okay, Matt Hardy, are you freaking kidding me? Shame on you. Shame on you.
Wait. No. If any other person who's not a hardcore wrestling fan,
how often do we talk about wrestling on this podcast, Matt?
A lot, but there could be other people. There's other people out there, John.
News to me.
But you're not gonna know other people because, again, you're just gonna know Disney Plus in about 4 days, just over 4 days. There's a countdown.
Give or take, yeah.
Yes, Disney Plus, Disney's streaming service that we can't wait, obviously, for. Comes out this Tuesday.
Already pre-ordered it.
I'm unsure how I want to do it because that's what she said. Sorry, look what you got me started.
Okay, Michael Scott.
That's what she said. So Disney Plus is coming out again, like I said, on Tuesday for $6.99 per month or $69.99.
Nice.
See, I wasn't going to do that. I was trying to be mature about it because I already had it. That's what she said.
What's the fun in that, though?
Anywho.
Awkward silence.
Awkward silence. So, more streaming services, but this one, I think, takes the cake.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me specifically, I think... and I've been debating it for a while, but definitely, I think I'm gonna be rearranging some of my subs to streaming services. I did subscribe to Amazon Prime for the free 30 days just to kind of check it out.
Just buy stuff and get stuff in 2 days. It's great.
Yeah.
Even the 1 day is great.
Yeah.
In TV shows.
Mm-hmm. I did that. Netflix, I'm leaning towards canceling that just because they don't have as much content as I would like. That I personally look forward to actually watch for. For a while I love that for the Marvel stuff. Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Punisher, etc. But this app just seems like it's going to be the real deal. They have just formatted this and just hyped this up really, really well, and the amount of content that's going to be dropping is sensational.
Right. There's stuff. Just looking. There's this website, justwatch.com, showing what is on all these streaming apps. anywhere from Netflix to Prime Video to Apple TV, what have you. And they have Disney Plus, and you have everything. You've got. I'm just gonna go through here and just read a couple of these things that are on here that I can't wait to watch. You've got just TV shows like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You got Captain Marvel that just came out. It's gonna be on there. They just tweeted out that Endgame, that basically just came out, is gonna be on there. Originally it was supposed to be in December, but now is gonna be day one. You have the Clone Wars, the TV show. Disney shows like That's So Raven. All the Star Wars. 101 Dalmatians animated movie. Like childhood coming back. It's like Cars. Around this time, Halloween, all the females like it. Hocus Pocus. You got Mulan, Toy Story. Like, I can go on for an hour reading these. It's just so much crap that if you want to relive.
Well, into everything is going more and more digital now, and like pretty much the DVD player is essentially obsolete at this point. Like,
which would never have thought of that.
Yeah, never. I mean, even 5 or 6 years ago, but now like. I mean, hell, owning DVDs. Like, I know that I have some friends who like collect Marvel films just because they like to collect that stuff. But I mean, now it just seems so pointless. Now
it brings in the debate that what happens if this service goes down, you lose everything,
right?
And there's now you don't have physical. But it is convenient that, like, oh, you want to watch something? Oh, I don't have to go through a shelf and move through stuff and try to find. Oh, here's that DVD. Here it's all there, and just for at least for now, $7 a month, what have you. But you get stuff from Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, National Geographic. You have The Simpsons. All 30 years.
Essentially, Disney owns everything in life.
Everything. And if you're a Verizon subscriber, phone, I believe phone, and I think maybe something else. I can't remember. But if you have unlimited data, Verizon's giving you a free year of Disney Plus. I was going to do that, but then I read, like in the fine print, that it charges on your Verizon account, and I'm technically still on my parents. We're all family. We're still on the same account. I don't want that going there. I just want to pay for it, so I would have to probably stop the subscription, and then redo it. What? Oh.
Delete.
Oh, Jesus. We're doing a Matt Hardy kick up all of a sudden.
Yes.
Wrestling's later, John. Anywho.
I'm a Mark.
Yeah, you're a Mark. They misnamed you when you were born. So John should have been Mark. Should have been the Eminem podcast. What the hell was I saying after that terrible joke? It wasn't even a joke. Yeah, so I think I might just prepay and do the year, but then I also have Hulu, so I might want to bundle that for $12.99.
How do you bundle that exactly? Because I got that, and
you have Hulu.
No, I have ESPN Plus and
reading here. It will offer a triple service bundle for $13 a month.
And
so you get apparently ESPN Plus. It says Disney plans for all three to be individual subscriptions, but when Disney Plus launches in U.S., it will offer a triple service bundle for $13 a month. So you get ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus for $13, which, holy crap. Because how much, you have ESPN Plus, right? How much is that a month?
It's like $5.99 or something.
So you got Hulu. I forget what I pay for it.
Yeah,
but if you get all three for $13 a month,
yeah.
I mean, Hulu, you're gonna get the probably the more adult-oriented shows from Disney. They're gonna have a new Marvel animated series for grown-ups. It says here, Hulu will continue to stream content from broadcast networks, its own series, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, you have that. That's a lot of stuff for 13. And ESPN Plus, you have the UFC. Again, what we're going to talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so Disney Plus apparently is going to get many of the perks that Netflix charges extra for, like simultaneous streams, 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Vision, HDR10, and Dolby Atmos immersive audio. So they're really getting everybody. Netflix is $16 a month. Even with the bundle, when I say it was $13 a month, and that's for 3-in-1, at least for now, because it's probably going to go up in price. But on the 12th, we will get The Mandalorian, a Star Wars spinoff, day one, and I believe it is how many episodes? Let's see here. Once I looked that up, but I'm kind of excited to see this. I'm eager to see this. It looks good from the trailers. What do you think about it so far? I think we've talked about it before, but
I really don't know about the whole history of Star Wars, just the overall basics that everyone knows. So I mean, it looks good. And talking to a few of my friends who are big Star Wars nerds, they're given the stamp of approval. So if they're doing that, then
it's saying that early reactions to 30 minutes of footage have been saying here in the CNET article. Again, I'll have this link down below. Extremely positive, and one journalist says that it, quote, feels more Western than sci-fi. So that's interesting. So yeah, the first episode's on the 12th, second one the 15th, then weekly installments on the 22nd, 29th, December 6th, 13th, 18th, and 27th. So it's not going to be a binge show. It's going to be, we got to wait a week, which I kind of like it. I kind of don't, because everybody's used to binge watching. Like, I watched an episode of The Curse of Oak Island that came back on this week, and I just love that show. Once it's over, you want to watch more, but at the same time, you don't want to get spoilers, because I feel like this might be spoiler heavy. And apparently, like in the first episode, in the first half, there's a spoiler for the Star Wars universe. Maybe the next movie. I don't know. That's what I read, which I don't know what that can be. And yeah, so I will. I can't wait to watch it. Again, it looks good, and apparently this is in between. Takes place after between 6 and 3 and 4. I think the movies. I think that's when it takes place. They bridge that gap.
Okay. So basically, right after Anakin becomes Darth Vader, then.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Let me. I gotta double check that, because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, because episode 3 is when he becomes Vader.
Yeah. Where is it? Guess it has links to Boba Fett. It says here who's in it. Yeah, I think it's between those two. In between those two movies. Yeah, I'm almost positive. But anywho, we can look that up.
So, any more to add then about the Disney up there, Matt?
No, I'm just going to, because I'll dive head first into it on Tuesday.
Yep.
I don't know when it's gonna come out at midnight or.
Yeah. I think what we'll plan to do.
Oh, okay. Never. Oh, sorry. This is this show is set. I finally found in his article because I kind of just found this as we're going on here. Set 7 years after the Return of the Jedi. So that's 6 years after the Empire's final defeat at the Battle of Jakku, and 23 years before The Force Awakens. So between 6 and 7.
Okay.
Okay. Right. I knew it was between one of the trilogies.
Okay.
So.
Okay. There we go. Well, I think for the podcast next week, I think we'll probably plan on doing a reaction
review,
review of
probably gonna be Disney Plus heavy.
That especially, so we'll definitely touch on that. But there was a big UFC last weekend. Jorge Masvidal defeated Nate Diaz via doctors
That was just
stoppage there.
Just a crappy way to end that match.
Yeah, but I think it was probably the best case scenario for Nate,
yes,
because George was dominating. Like, that was completely one-sided. I didn't quite expect that. I mean
no.
I thought it would be a little bit more competitive, but man, George he's incredible right now. You can make the argument that he's probably fighter of the year for the UFC right now, and right now that man is in a very good negotiating position, because there's rumors of him possibly fighting Conor, which I would be very surprised if that happens. It's like Dana and George keep on saying, George is way too much man for Conor, and I really do believe that if those two fought, George would annihilate him. Like, I don't even think it would be even competitive. That's how lopsided. But I mean, like, I will say though, Rock coming out to his WWE theme music was kind of cool. He still came off like a goddamn superstar as he always does. How do you think that came off there, Matt?
It came off like as a star.
Like,
he already is, obviously, but it was just a nice big grand entrance for The Rock with the title.
There wasn't that awkwardness when typically wrestlers come onto an MMA event like this. This felt like Rock coming out to his typical event at a WWE event. Like, it just shows you just how great that his actual reach is across everything. So that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, but I just feel like this whole build up with this title and match, it just, I know medical reasons and makes sense, but it's just very a huge fart.
Yeah, very
like a fart in church.
Very anticlimactic, unfortunately.
And we were at the casino, and it just, people were booing or upset.
They were pissed. Yeah,
it wasn't. It was just a flat end to the night, and it just it sucked. It had to end that way.
That essentially just confirmed to me just like Nate, like it just against George. It's such a bad matchup just because Nate he can hit hard, but the problem is when he was punching George wasn't even flinching or anything. He was just walking right through those, and he wasn't really even really trying to fight him on the ground with their jiu-jitsu. Like every time that they stood up, George would like hit him with a power shot. I did laugh though at the very start of the fight. He like faked running and doing the flying knee when he KO'd Askren. But yeah, just a very good night for George Masvidal. He now has some options. Like he can possibly fight the winner of Colby versus Usman, who those two fight, I believe, in about a month here. So that should be a really good card. Also 3 title fights on that card, so that'll be really big. Which I think a fight between him versus Colby Covington. Colby Covington, in case you didn't know, Matt, was the guy who is a big Donald Trump dude who wears a freaking MAGA hat pretty much everywhere that he goes, and he gets a lot of heat.
Speaking of heat, yeah. Trump was there too.
And Trump was there too. That was weird.
And he got booed.
Oh yeah, he got booed out.
He was watching the fights backstage with Dana White too before he came out. So
would you believe Masvidal? He's a big Trump guy.
I think kind of surprising.
A lot of people are stunned about that. I'm like supposedly he's been a big Trump guy for a while now. It's just the difference between him and Colby. He's not parading with a like MAGA hat and everything. And the thing with Colby is it's all a freaking act to piss people off, to generate a reaction sort of thing. It's very professional wrestling in that way, where he's just portraying as a character. But yeah, so if I had to guess, unless he gets the Conor fight, I would imagine that we're probably that George is probably getting either Usman or Colby Covington. And if he gets that fight and he somehow wins that title, George might be the biggest star in the company then, because I mean even now he's probably one of their top 3 biggest stars next to Israel Adesanya, Nate, and Conor right now. So yeah, very good. Very good there. Also, other things that happened on this card, that highlight reel knockout by Kevin Lee. Matt, do you remember the opening fight on the main card when Kevin Lee slapped Gregor Gillespie? He was the dude who got like head kicked into.
Oh, and he fell back. He's like, oh yeah, that was sick.
I was shocked by that, but I was surprised to see how much bigger that Kevin Lee was than Gregor. Like, it literally looked like Kevin Lee was a freaking welterweight. Well, and like he did he did fight at that weight in his last fight, but it was just the size was so glaringly obvious, and you could just tell that Gillespie was never really comfortable at all during this fight. I don't even think he attempted any takedowns, and with Kevin Lee he just kept on touching him up, and then I believe he gave him a like right, and then boom, just a freaking left kick to the head, and that might have been probably the most devastating knockout this year. I would probably have to think about some other more or probably between his and like George Masvidal's fight knee to Askren. I mean, it was devastating. But man, what a win for Kevin Lee, because now he gets some steam back. He has a completely new training team. He's now training with Faraz Sahabi, who I believe is the striking coach for George St. Pierre. So he's getting some steam back. I wonder where he's gonna go next. Like he definitely is gonna get a top 10 guy now. I just hope that he can finally have his weight issues in order. I know that has been a big issue for him, is getting down to 155. Hopefully those things are behind him. And man, I'm excited to see Kevin Lee, to see where he goes throughout this weight class. But in the co-main event, Darren Till, wow, like not the most exciting fight, Matt.
That was draining the energy out of me.
Yeah, like it was not a very exciting fight, but a very sound technical game plan though by Darren Till.
To be fair, technically these UFC pay-per-views, like, because they go on main card so late that just me personally, like I get tired watching by the time it's 12:30, 1 o'clock. Yeah. That's just me, because just sleep schedule, I'm usually all screwed up anyways and tired. But this one, like I do agree, probably a sound game plan. You did what you needed to do, but just for audience watching, it was nothing was happening, and that's what you get with this type of sport, that, like, unlike professional wrestling, which you can force it, you can guide it to be exciting. With like
fighting, it's completely different.
It's a coin toss. Either you're gonna have people that just beat the crap out of each other, or you have fighters that are strategic and play chess in the octagon. Even in some fights where you expect people to beat the crap out of each other, it might turn into a chess match, and vice versa. It is what it is. I mean, but luckily, this card was good, exciting, pretty much overall up and down. But again, this fight is just one of those fights that it's not exciting to watch. But if you really look at it,
it was just very
it's
smart.
Probably smart. Yeah,
it was just very smart. Darren Till wasn't going to be taking any stupid chances. He clearly looked super healthy. I have no idea why he kept on trying to cut or kept on cutting down to 170 pounds. He looked healthy here. He looked great here. You can make the argument this was probably his best performance. Granted, it wasn't very exciting, but like he got the job done, and on top of it, he beat the number 3 middleweight in the UFC. And this was his first fight at middleweight. Like, I mean, that's impressive to me, because now he throws his name right into the potential title shot hat. Now, I do feel that he needs to win at least one more fight. But the thing is, too, at that weight class right now, there's a lot of uncertainty because with Paulo Costa's injury, supposedly, according to Dana White, he can't even start training for a good 8 months, which that takes us right into April. So, like, there's a lot of time between now and then, and Israel Adesanya has said he wants to get back in there at the start of 2020. So, I think as of now, I mean, I think that Israel should wait it out, and I think that what we should do is do Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till, winner gets a title shot. That's personally what I would do. I mean, I wouldn't be against a fight with Israel versus Yoel, which that would be a fun fight. But too, he's also 1-3 in his last 4 fights too. So it's just very interested to see what Dana White and the UFC decides to do. And the other fights on the main card, we saw Stephen Wonderboy Thompson win a very decisive win over Vicente Luque. A pretty one-sided fight. Nothing too surprising there. So he wins very easily, and a very competitive heavyweight bout where Derek Lewis got a split decision victory in his first fight since he lost to Junior Dos Santos. I think that was like back in April or March or whatever. But yeah, a very fun UFC. The next pay-per-view, as I said, I believe is like December 14th or somewhere in that vicinity. 3 title fights. There's also a card this weekend in like Moscow. Greg Hardy is fighting Volkan, I believe, which is easily the biggest step in competition that he's had. Very interested to see, is he going to sink or swim here? Because if he wins, he's probably is going to be getting a like number by his name therein. There's like supposedly Eric Lewis wants to fight him, and boy, if that happens, that should be interesting. But we shall discuss that at another time. So okay, we're going to get into some NFL talk now. So now, Matt, there's only one more undefeated team in the NFL,
and it's not the Patriots.
And of course, the one week that we needed those freaking clowns to actually win,
the Ravens
against Baltimore. Of course, they couldn't help out the Steelers. But man, I mean, as much as I hate Baltimore, they are such a well coached team. It's just the game plan that they had against the Patriots was just amazing. Like, they ran for over 200 yards against that Patriots defense. Over 200 yards against that Patriots defense. The Patriots just never got anything going. And yes, the Patriots have been dominant, and they have beat up a lot of bad teams. But to me, the thing I would be concerned at if I was a Patriots fan is definitely that offense and Tom Brady. Like, they have beat up, as I said, on a lot of bad teams. I wonder come playoff time, like, how is that offense going to react if they cannot run the ball consistently? Because they have a problem in pushing the ball downfield. Like, everything is short to intermediate, and I mean, like, I'm very interested to see how they would do against Kansas City, against Houston, against Baltimore. Hell, I mean, like, I'm even intrigued to see what they would do against the Steelers. Although, like, always with the track record is always bad against them.
I would like to see him again.
Yeah, I do too. It's just, and it's just like I would definitely have some concerns, and
I would still think I would still think the Patriots
absolutely
beat us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like it's going to be that first week. That was just a terrible. Nothing went right.
Also, too, we did not have like a Minka either. Who's, speaking of which, every week I come on here and I continue to say this is why we gave up a first round pick for this guy. This is an elite safety. Mm-hmm. He now has 4 interceptions, which, by the way, is the most by a Pittsburgh defensive back since
Troy Polamalu
in 2010. I mean, it's just like
9 years.
Like, every week that he continues to make play after play, this is looking like highway robbery of the Miami Dolphins. Because if you look at the Steelers at the rest of their schedule, outside of this upcoming week against the Rams, against the Buffalo Bills, and the Baltimore Ravens, the rest of their schedule is against losing teams. This team could very well somehow win 10 games. If I would have told you after week 2 that this team would somehow win 10 games with the amount of injuries,
the possibility,
with them pretty much having a vanilla offense, just injuries from Stephon Tuitt to James Conner to Ramon Foster, you name it, it's happened. But I think what this whole season has been about, though, it's just Mike Tomlin has done an incredible job, just riding the ship, just trying to find ways to win games, finding different ways to win games.
But you will never hear that.
No, and I have been critical of Tomlin, and I have even said that it might not be a bad idea to look at a new head coach, but now I think that this kind of proves that he really isn't a bad coach. And yes, they have talent at so many positions, but as we have seen with the Cleveland Browns, just because you have a whole bunch of talent doesn't mean it's going to translate into wins.
Mayfield. Have you seen the memes?
They were tremendous.
Looked like a drug dealer looked like, I don't know what he could look like. Look, a 80s, like a disgraced 80s porn star.
Yeah.
Apparently he shaved throughout that day.
He did. He shaved 2 or 3 separate occasions.
What the hell?
And just that team, man, it's just a train wreck. I didn't think that I knew that they were overhyped, but dear Lord, they can't even be a Denver team with freaking Brandon Allen as the quarterback.
They're pretty much the same as last year.
They are essentially the same. Just they just have OBJ. That's essentially it. This team is just too immature. They have a terrible coaching staff, and the lack of veteran leadership on that team is clearly showing. And I say it week after week. And this is why the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens are always at the top of the division. They have consistency, they have stability, and even when they are not completely healthy, they're still competitive. I don't think I think that gets overlooked way too often with that. I mean, when you have the same head coach, the same GM, the same training staff, coaching staff, it resonates with players. I can't tell you how many interviews I have seen with guys who are retired now, and they said when they left Pittsburgh, and went to a much less stable organization, they rave about just one of the reasons why the Steelers are constantly winners, why the Baltimore Ravens are constantly winners, because there is stability, and to me, stability, if it's good stability, if it cannot be like the Cincinnati Bengals who just kept on losing and keeping the same people in charge, like that's sending a bad message. But also too, Tomlin has not had a losing season since he has been head coach, and I don't think that can be discounted. Is he the greatest guy at doing challenges? Absolutely not. He's terrible. He's terrible. But he the players believe in him, and my God, they got talent at every single level of that defense, going from TJ Watt to freaking Bud Dupree, who for the first 4 years was complete trash, and now of course in his contract year he decides to be good.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, funny how that works. Cam Hayward just continues to be just a consistent, solid player, really great leader. And TJ Watt, man, like this guy is an elite pass rusher. He now has 7.5 sacks through 8 games right now, which means he's on pace for what, 16 sacks, 17 sacks, something like that.
Yep, pretty much a sack a game.
Exactly. So, and to Minkah Fitzpatrick, like this man is under contract for 3 more years. They're paying him $1 million, per season, essentially. So I mean, like, just what a theft. I'm having a lot of fun watching Steelers games, which I did not think was going to be the case once Penn went down in that Seattle game. But man, it's exciting. Matt, anything more to add about the Steelers there?
No, not really.
Yeah. So other things that happen around the league. Sadly for Houston. JJ Watt tore his pec, so he's now out for the season. Man, like injuries just continue to pile up for the guy, because I believe this is his 3rd season-ending surgery in the last 4 seasons or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, I believe it is. Because he had a back issue. I believe actually he tore his Achilles one year, and now this year. So it sucks for the guy. He's such a great ambassador for the game, but clearly tread is starting to gain on those tires there. Well, Miami finally won, Matt. Miami finally won. So now the only defeated team right now are the Cincinnati Bengals, who are clearly in the hashtag tank for 2 sweepstakes.
How upset do you have to be if you're a New York football sports fan? The Jets.
Le'Veon Bell. Like, he has to be like looking at himself. He was like, I could have just stayed in Pittsburgh. He should just stayed in Pittsburgh. Like we said, like, dude, you overplayed your hand. Your agent completely just ruined you. Now he's in an irrelevant organization, which honestly wouldn't surprise me if the team even cut him at the end of the season, because he really does absolutely absolutely nothing for them right now.
I don't keep as much tabs on other teams as you probably do, but at least I would hear names of other people. You don't hear anything much about Bell anymore, because it's the Jets, and now they're statistically, record-wise, and draft order-wise,
they're like second right now. I think
since Miami beat them and they're the same record.
Yeah, they're second right now.
I think they're number 1. I thought.
No, I'm looking. Cincinnati is.
Oh yeah, what the hell am I thinking? I'm sorry, I forget about Cincinnati even exists.
Yep.
My bad.
Yeah.
They're number 2.
It's like Cincinnati, New York, and then Miami right now. And then I want to say it's Washington after that.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like,
sad but hilarious.
If you're the Jets, I don't know where you go to, because they have needs at essentially every position right now. Like, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line. I mean, like, outside linebacker, secondary. Like, it's like, where do you start at? And I feel bad for like Jets fans, just because it just seems like every year
there's hope and promise.
There's hope and promise in the offseason. They spend all of this money, and like it always ends the same.
And the Giants are a little bit better.
Giants, like, they are just slowly in a rebuilding situation. I feel better about Daniel Jones than I did at the start of the season, but I mean,
they're still
Giants. But Also, it was also announced, I believe it was on Tuesday, that the Carolina Panthers put Cam Newton on the injured reserve, which I believe could possibly be Cam's end to his tenure with the Carolina Panthers. Supposedly he can be cut after the season and the Panthers can save like a lot of cash from their salary cap. I would be shocked if he's back next year just with his rash of injuries, and I just don't feel that the Panthers are going to be willing to pay him what like 28 or 30 million dollars a season. Like, that's asking a lot there. So I'm not really sold on Kyle Allen. I think he's just strictly a like Cam manager, but the thing with Cam is like he's getting older. He's getting more and more banged up. Like he had a shoulder injury last year thanks to TJ Watt on that hit, and this year he had a procedure done for a like a Les Frank injury. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out there. So I think that we'll do all and as we said at the beginning, there is only one undefeated team, the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
And Matt, did you know about Greg Kittle being a huge professional wrestling fan?
Not until you just said that now.
Well, supposedly, Eric showed me this. He sent me a picture of like supposedly Greg Kittle released some new merchandise that was paying tribute to Pentagon Jr., who's currently signed in AEW. He had airbrushed cleats of Pentagon Jr. too, which I found just so damn cool. So he comes off like such a big mark, and it's awesome. But so that will pretty much segue us into the wrestling talk.
Yeah, so let's get into the ratings this week. It's very interesting.
It was by far the closest that it's been.
There's a lot that I'm researching that make it interesting, and there's arguments for there's two sides of this one argument. So, anyways, this week AEW Dynamite won, but by a slim margin. Mm-hmm. They drew 822,000 viewers, beating NXT's 813,000 viewers. So that's a 1.1% margin.
Yeah.
AEW had a 0.35 rating in the key 18 to 49 demo. NXT got not too far behind. A 0.3 demo. Wait a minute. Yeah. And then last week, to compare, AEW had a 0.33 and NXT had a 0.18. So, a big increase for NXT.
For sure.
NXT previous week had where is it in this wrestling article?
I think they only had like
580.
Yeah, 580,000.
So a big jump, a 40% increase.
Yeah, I will say though about this, they did have more main roster guys.
3.
Yeah, AJ Styles and the club there.
This Survivor Series, these invasion angles are helping.
Yeah.
With NXT. That's why honestly I watched this over Dynamite Live because I wanted to see who would show up, and apparently a lot of people wanted to see that too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring in some notes from Raj Giri, I hope I'm saying his last name right. I apologize. From Wrestling Inc.
Yeah, from Wrestling Inc.
It's interesting. From his perspective, his opinions, because if you just look at the numbers, you can't really think about some of this stuff. That in terms of Dynamite, his opinion was it was not Dynamite. Was only slightly up, and it wasn't good since last week was up against the World Series, which obviously both shows dropped significantly. So it averaged .45 in the 18 to 49 demo 3 weeks before it, so it's down 22% on average, where NXT was up in that demo. NXT's been averaging .2 in that, and it was at a .3 this week, so a 50% increase. And Dynamite only beat NXT by 17% in that same demo, while it's been pretty much over 100%, pretty much doubling in the demo over several weeks. So again, a strong week for NXT, even though it didn't beat it, it's still a good week. And then a little bit ago, I was reading this tweet that a concerning something concerning for both shows as a whole. That if you combine the two shows, it's only 1.635 million viewers total, not including, I don't know if this is any repeats or a network on the network watching. This is live TV. Mm-hmm. Only 1.6 million. So if somebody has a chart that the first week you had a combined 2.3 million, and it's gone down viewership steadily ever since, with the anomaly being the World Series game. They had 1.3, but this week is 1.635, and the week before the World Series game 1.66. Again, it went 2.3, 1.8, 1.7, 1.6, 1.3, and 1.6 again. So as a whole, as a group, wrestling, it is concerning. And then Raj again tweeted, and hopefully I'll probably have this up, guys reading this. He says, quote, "I know this doesn't mean much, but if you combine Raw, AEW, and NXT, and let's throw in Backstage too, the combined viewership is 3.8 million, which isn't even taking into account any crossover viewers. No. Raw was normally doing 4 to 4.4 million viewers by itself just 5 years ago. So we can talk about, okay, each show going head to head or whatever, but wrestling in general is not as big as it was just 5 years ago. If you just take them out Raw.
No, and like honestly, I think
it's more hardcore.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that the WWE honestly chased away a lot of those fans because a lot of them were just casual viewers, and like I know a lot of a lot of friends of mine who used to watch regularly just are like, you know, it's like too boring. Just these storylines are so predictable. They're not really engaging, and I completely understand that. But I mean, we all knew when this thing kicked off, NXT and AEW had virtually the same audience,
right?
And there was only so many people part of that. Now, I mean, I feel like that if AEW keeps on producing shows like this, they're going to be growing that audience just because of the steam that they have and just, you know, how this show is presented, and you know they are wrestling in front of sold out arenas to that, and just with the optics alone, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing, but the other side of that, to play devil's advocate, if let's take if you said both shows are taking the same audience.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, for simplest terms, 50-50. If you have a set amount of people that are going to watch, and they're saying 50-50, and they're going back and forth, if that the total number of people watching, even though it might be split how it is declining. Yes, AEW, and I didn't see this week again. I watched NXT live. I didn't get a chance to watch a whole AEW today. I watched two things that are very good, and I even saw the end of the show because that got my attention. I almost lost my point. It's just, even if it's getting better and both shows were good, overall decline in viewership is going down. That's almost concerning. Now, I'll say it again.
Well, too, and I would throw this back at you. You know, AEW is also a brand new company.
Right.
If anything, I would be concerned about NXT because they have been an established brand for what 5 years now, about 4 years now, something like that.
But in a
obviously in a very
network.
Small capacity, but the brand has been out there, and I think, and this is like just me. I just think that AEW has more room to actually grow. I'm not as optimistic about.
Well, wouldn't NXT be able to grow too more if they go to a live venue and get more people?
I'm not sure, honestly. Just because, like, based on NXT's house show numbers haven't and just with WWE's weekly shows haven't exactly done great with attendance, because I mean, we've heard reports that they are possibly looking on going on the road full time in 2020. I just wonder if they are more willing to do that, because I know if they stay at Full Sail, it's obviously more cost effective. So yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying both companies.
Yeah,
right
I don't want to sound like I'm knocking one over the other. AEW. I mean, it's hard to watch both.
If anything, I would just question from NXT's standpoint if their ability to sustain this audience without any main roster influence, because I feel that is the only way where they are going to be able to compete with AEW, just based off of what we have seen so far through the first month that this war has happened.
Yeah, I need to see if the hourly breakdown.
All right.
But if you have anything to say,
so basically, I'll just briefly go over AEW. Matt, since he watched NXT,
I've seen. Not to interrupt, but not to interrupt. I saw some stuff, so I can jump in if needed. I have some opinions.
I didn't see really any of NXT, so I'll let Matt talk about that. But I think as far as AEW is concerned, the shows are getting better. Like, this week easily was their best week as far as time management, balance between promos, video packages, and matches. Which the past 2 weeks now we have gotten that. You know, that amazing video package with Chris Jericho, freaking Virgil, Soul Train Jones.
that was a well done video.
Oh my god, that was incredible. And Matt, I'm not sure if you knew, but Chris Jericho, he is the youngest AEW world champion
And
ever.
they're not wrong.
They're not wrong. Which that was hilarious to me. But like it was just a great portrayal, and it hyped up the match so well. And speaking of hyping up a match, holy promo that I would wager to say that was easily Cody's best.
That's one
promo
of the best
ever.
promos I've seen in a long time.
Like this is like CM Punk, pipe bomb sort of shit here, as they would say.
We're doing so good, but it's not a podcast if there's not a bleep.
Yeah, like and actually it was funny because actually I was watching this. And my dad flipped it on as soon as Cody called as soon as he was talking Jericho, you stupid. Jesus. The only thing I heard
Almost blew out the headphones.
the only thing I heard was my dad almost on the verge of like tears from laughing so hard. But like it was funny because in between the commercial break for Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Hangman and Kenny, in between commercials they kept on calling the audience kept on calling Chris a stupid. He was like, and like he was like, "What, Katie Vick? I swear that wasn't my idea."
I feel like, do I want to bleep out?
No. Stupid.
Yeah.
YOLO. But
that's gonna be a long ending. Stupid bleep. Stupid bleep.
Bleep.
Bleep. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how in a mood I am.
Yeah. It just but just was just some very good build up, and that ending brawl it was a great way to sell a pay-per-view. I'm very pumped for Full Gear, which Matt and I will be getting into shortly here. Matt, did you find the stuff that you were looking for?
I did not.
Okay, well,
but we can, if I find it.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay,
warrants.
Discuss some NXT.
Okay, NXT. Let's see here what I put down. So in the beginning of the show, I missed the very beginning, but the beginning, they have the Undisputed Era. It was outside walking and talking, and then out of nowhere, the OC attacks all of them and makes a statement, and then makes their way to the ring. Cuts a promo, and as they cut a promo, who comes out? I'm drawing the blank. How much I paid attention.
AJ in the club.
No, they're already in the ring.
What is it? Ciampa?
Ciampa. Holy, John, a freaking blank. Ciampa comes out. He cuts a promo, and I like the one line he said was, and I'm paraphrasing, for years, people were wondering, when is he going to get cut off to the main roster? So, AJ, welcome to the main roster. I thought it was a great line to put over NXT. And then AJ is saying, okay, that's fine. That's one of you, and there's three of us. And you know what that means. Somebody else is coming out. And you have Matt Riddle and Keith Lee sets up a 6-man tag match between the 6 of them for the main event of the show. The first match of the night was Pete Dunne and Damian Priest. What a just hard-hitting match. What I wrote down here was hard-hitting, good match, solid match. They beat the crap out of each other. Just the kicks and the punches. Just freaking hard-hitting. And this was the second match between the two, with Damian Priest winning the first one with I think there was a low blow in the first match that cost Pete Dunne with the ref distracted. They repeated that. They attempted to repeat that this match, but Pete Dunne caught it and then got the win. And then after the match, Killian Dane came out and laid both men out, possibly, I don't think it's been official yet, setting up a triple threat match, probably for TakeOver. Nice. He hit the cannonball on Damian Priest outside on the steps, which was a pretty cool move. So to sum up, Dunne defeated Priest by submission in that match. Moving on quickly, these, I guess, at least for me, relatively new women in the women's division building up. Was Tanaya Conti and versus Santana Garrett. It was nothing to write home about. Tanaya defeated Garrett by pinfall. I guess another match trying to showcase these two ladies. It was what it was. We had Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai, and what I thought was a pretty good showing for Dakota. But ultimately, Shayna got the submission win. And then after the match, Marina Shafir and Jasmine Duke beat down on Dakota. So it was a 3-on-1. Then Mia Yim came out with a kendo stick and just beat the holy piss out of them. And then Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae came up, backed up Yim. I think, backed them up, sent them packing. And then later in the night, they had a backstage promo. Well, Ripley announced Yim would join their team for War Games, and did not pick Dakota. There was a little story there about Dakota not being worthy of being on the team. That's what kind of set up this match. So she walked off, and you missed. John's here trying to throw his bottle away, and we know why he played baseball and not basketball. Anywho. Moving on, we had a number one contendership match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship between Tony Nese and Angel Garza. I've never seen this Angel Garza before, but I like his gimmick. Even though he's a heel, he's like Latino heat. He's almost like Latino light MJF in a way, but very light.
I would hope so. Like,
very light.
MJF is like
he comes out, he walks down, he's doing the cocky, gonna shake your hand and pull it back, going for the high fives for everybody in the crowd, like walking along, and just put his hands down below so you can't reach it. Just very cocky. I liked it. And then he has this gimmick where he has like these long like pants he wears, and then like during the match, like I guess his gimmick, like he rips them off and he just has tights on. Explaining that it sounds dumb, but it's, if freaking Orange Cassidy could be a wrestler that has his hands in his
he finally did it.
I did it. I broke it. Like I
fourth wall breaking now.
Like I cover my mouth up like I said something bad in church. Like I can't bleep it out, which is hilarious. But I can't wait to bleep that out. But since I already said it, Orange Cassidy has his hand in his fucking pockets, and love taps everybody with kicks. then
he's the GOAT, man.
He's not the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Don't get me started.
Orange Cassidy is the freaking man.
He's not the man. He is a man, but he's not the man.
You respect him.
I'm not respecting him. I appreciate the gimmick for what it is, but so help me God, if he beats anybody, I'm done. I'm done with his gimmick. If he beats anybody,
I'm going to Orange Cassidy super kick you.
I'm so scared. Anywho, where was I before I got on the rant? Oh yeah, Angel Garza, and at one point he was going to rip the pants off, but Tony Nese stopped it. Then on the top of the turnbuckle, Tony Nese was going for a power bomb, but as he was power bombing, the pants fell off, ripped off, and he power bombed pants. And Mauro with the line goes, "I never knew I would say this, but Tony Nese just power bombed a set of pants or something." It was hilarious. I would suggest you watch it. He's good. He has a ton of charisma. He has that cocky look to him. I like it. Even though this was two heels going against each other, I'm a big fan of him. And after the match, Leo Rush came out, put his hand out for a handshake, saying that he can't wait. He was impressed. And Angel Garza just slapped the holy hell out of him, walked off, and Leo Rush had that smile like, okay, I see you. And that match takes place next week on NXT, which I'm kind of interested to see that. Those two should put on a good match. Then another match I kind of wasn't really paying attention to. I might have looked back on Dynamite or we're basketball fans here, so I was going back forth. It was like a triple threat of
which that was a great game, by the way. Or a very sloppy game.
Yeah, I was going to say the hell.
Yeah.
It was Dominik Dijakovic with Isaiah Swerve Scott. Again, I really didn't see much of this match, so I can't really comment on it. But Dijakovic won this match. And in the main event, we see the OC versus Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Matt Riddle. The match was good. I guess it was a good little match. Near the end, Keith Lee was going to do this. What's the good word? Like a tackle, shoulder block off the ropes to AJ Styles, which at the same time hit the ref. The ref was down. Caused a lot of commotion, and Balor came. Before Balor came out, we had, I think, Adam Cole, I think, came out eventually, but Balor came out, and he teased. He did the finger guns to AJ Styles, where AJ Styles did the too sweet sign, teasing the little reunion there, which was pretty good.
Of the Club of Bullet.
The Club of Bullet. So you have a possibility maybe down the line of the OC and Balor versus Undisputed Era.
Oh, absolutely.
Which would be interesting. I think Adam Cole came out. I can't remember. Like, it's terrible. I can't remember.
Yeah. So basically, he came out and super kicked the hell out of AJ. Like AJ sold that. Like he got.
I watched it. And I can't remember. He did sell the hell out of it. And then you had the transition. They both promoted the Invasion, the Survivor Series, and the upcoming War Games the night before with Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Ciampa fighting after Adam Cole and all that fun stuff. So it was I appreciate getting two stories in one there. I know some people were upset at the non-finish.
Yeah, like that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
At the same time, you're in a. If it was any other thing, I probably would kind of question it. But I feel like
I can bring up a few examples where you wouldn't let up on that. But I digress.
But I don't know what that means.
I digress. I said I digress.
I digress. But I kind of want to keep
that is not a word, Matt.
You know what? LOL wasn't a word, but now it's in the dictionary. So
and ungresses.
It can be if you use it enough. Like you just need some rapper to say it in a song, and it becomes popular. And then
let me ask you slowly: is ungress in the dictionary?
Not yet.
Exactly. So silence.
You know what? I'm gonna keep using it. Ungress. But the hell were we? I think in the way to
up NXT.
Yeah.
Here.
But I digress. I think it's a way to protect both teams. So not one person takes a pin or you have that damn disqualification. But at the same time, you have that no contest and you have the brawl at the end and all that fun stuff to go out on. So I'm not totally upset about it. Some people say it was a waste of the talent. I don't think so. But I digress. Word of the day, digress. So that's pretty much NXT. It was a close week this week.
I'll be interested to see what that ratings is going to be next week.
As we say every week. But like real quick, because we don't want to be as long as last week. Full Gear, like John said earlier, Full Gear is this Saturday. Now we're gonna go quickly give our thoughts on these matches.
I think we will just go over the most important matches, which, in my opinion, are Cody versus Jericho for the AEW Championship.
Moxley and Omega.
Omega.
Paige
Pac, and the Bucks versus LA.
So let's go from in order here of what I have. Paige and Pac. Apparently, I totally forgot that it's been a slow build, even back when the announcement of AEW.
Yeah, so basically when AEW was first formed, when they had their first press conference, essentially Pac challenged he challenged Paige, but Pac was having some, like, whether it was visa issues or his or with his affiliation with a Dragon Gate and dropping their title and everything.
I think I was reading this before that he was the champion, one of the champions in Dragon Gate, and they didn't want him to lose.
Yeah, so basically, they were slated to face each other at Double or Nothing, and basically they pulled out at the 2-week mark, and that's when obviously where Hangman won the battle royale, and then eventually went on to face Chris Jericho at All Out for the AEW World Title. So and then when Pac came back, they finally had their match and Pac won. So it's essentially this story has been building for eight or 9 months now. So.
Yeah, I just feel like I totally forgot about this. And you can correct me if I'm way offline here, but I just feel like even there's been built for all this long time, I just didn't remember all this stuff.
Yeah,
I just felt like at least with these shows, and I feel like in both shows, NXT too, that you have these stories and they don't continue. Mm-hmm. Maybe not necessarily week to week, and it may take a week after to do it. It's not continuous with it.
No,
if you will.
It's not been not been like Cody and Jericho, Bucks and LAX and
Moxley and Omega. It's just
Moxley.
I feel like
Omega's
it's there, and even after, I guess I don't know if this was on the dark after, but even the post show brawl and promo that Paige had on Pac when we were there live.
Well, supposedly that was due to time constraints, and they apparently re-aired Dynamite on that Friday with a special never be foreseen scenes there. So that was why that happened
on Friday. Like, I hate that they have to do it on there, but at least they did it. But I feel like that could have again timing issues. Who do you have winning this match?
I have on Pac right now because they're clearly are going, I think, into a heel direction for Hangman. Although, like the last few weeks, he's been getting more over as a babyface, like in Charleston last week, and especially this week in Charlotte. Like, he's been getting a more consistent reaction. But I still feel that they are definitely going on the heel route for him. I've consistently said I feel like that he needs to go to a heel route because I still feel like he's a little bit bland right now. But I'm expecting a really good match here between him and Pac, and I'm interested to see the direction of Hangman when he does lose, because I am expecting him to lose here.
Yeah, I'll go with Pac too. I think he's just been built up more, and I think there's more of a story you can go with him moving forward. To me, Hangman Page, I don't want to say bland. That's not the word, but there's like
there's something there. It's just like they really haven't tapped into it.
I feel like he was more, I don't say over. In was it Ring of Honor? Was he in Honor? Yeah, ROH there. Then right now, I just feel like he's there. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But okay, moving on. You got the Young Bucks and Santana and Ortiz.
This is going to be really exciting. Now, Matt, I encourage you to watch AEW Countdown, which was basically a 35-minute hype video for basically their matches with Cody and Jericho, LAX or Santana and Ortiz versus the Bucks, and Kenny versus Moxley. They go really in depth, behind these guys' characters. What really makes them tick, going back all the way to when they first started wrestling. Like, pretty much the whole motivation between Santana and Ortiz is just to fight and claw for every little thing that they got. They feel like that the Bucks have been spoiled, that they have been pampered, like that they didn't feel that they were ever, like they felt like that they had to work for every little thing, and that they didn't have as much support. It was just strictly them. Like Santana and Ortiz really go in depth, like what it was like growing up in like New York City and everything, and what that was like, where there was a crime everywhere and stuff. It was really insightful. But like these guys debuted at All Out, just beat the crap out of the Bucks. It's just, this could possibly be match of the night. Like, these two teams are just going to do just some crazy insane stuff. I do think that they are definitely putting over. I think that the absolute number one thing they need to do on the show, the Inner Circle needs to be booked really, really strong. Like, I don't think you can have no one from that team lose anytime soon. Whether it's Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, and especially Santana and Ortiz, who I think outside of Chris Jericho are the two most important individuals in that group right now. And I am going with Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, I was going back and forth, but hearing that, it makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to make the Inner Circle become the Outer Circle.
We don't need a like a Nexus situation where you get these group of guys and put so much heat on them, and then when it's really time to put them over, and we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's very important that between them and especially Chris Jericho that they get put over strong here. Now, Matt, do you have anything to add for that match?
Yeah, no, but I'll pick Ortiz and Santana.
Yeah.
And then moving on, we have what probably going to be just a war bloodbath.
Actually, I think this is probably closing the show because they are now booking this as a
lights out match, non-section lights out match. John Moxley versus Kenny Omega, or Kenny or Olivier. It's just going to be a war. The build
for this has been incredible. Like this has essentially been built since All Out, or I believe. Actually, no, it was since Double. It was since Double or Nothing. Wow, that feels so long ago. But essentially, this has been building for essentially 6 months, 5 or 6 months. Just the promos with both Kenny and John have just been incredible. Like Moxley coming off as this rapid wild dog who just feels incredibly disrespected because he feels that Tony Khan is protecting Kenny and not having this thing being sanctioned. He doesn't want Kenny to have another loss on his record, which I feel is a really good angle to add here. And like I would have been kind of mad because they just did a lights out match not too long ago with like Moxley and Joey Janela. I believe that was at Fyter Fest. So I was kind of surprised about this because but the way that they have like built this with John DDT and Kenny onto the glass table, I believe that was on their opening episode of Dynamite there. So there was that, but just the intensity, and like you just hear promos like this, and man, and then you hear some of them in WWE, they're just like my God, like it just feels so much more. There's more grit to it. I feel there's more intensity behind it, especially with a Moxley. Especially if you heard his promo, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Just sold that match if you weren't already sold on it. So if I had to pick though right now, I am leaning towards Moxley because they are going with Kenny, with him going more darker and more of a darker beaten down path, and I do expect that to continue. Because I do feel that they would probably want to do eventually Chris Jericho versus John Moxley, because they don't have too many other baby faces right now, who could probably challenge for that title right now against Jericho, and I definitely think with like Moxley would probably be next in line for a title shot there. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I think not much difference here, but yeah, I think Moxley's will go over. I wouldn't surprise. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow Omega wins, but I'm going to lean towards Moxley and what is just going to be a just a all-out brawl, bloodbath. Just like you're just going to cringe at some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But finally, finally we have Cody versus
the La Champion.
Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship.
I would say the build for this has been sensational. Like
the best build of all of them.
I think this has been probably one of my favorite builds to a world title match that I can recall. Probably the last one that I could remember was probably Daniel Ryan going on his way to WrestleMania 30. Like
I was gonna say that.
Like just the story behind all this, and with Cody
investment,
and with him, like I'm completely invested in that promo by Cody on Dynamite this week, where like I said, I think that was his probably his best promo as a professional. Like that there sold tickets. That put asses in seats, as like Sean Ross Sapp said this week. It's just like those, like that brought me back to Flair and Dusty, and like how they would just
old school. Yeah.
It was very old school. And hell, you knew it was good when Jim Cornette is praising the hell out of it. Like that's really saying something.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I like to hear Jim Cornette's comments on everything now, but I can't wait to hear that. I guess later. I don't think I heard it. Maybe tomorrow or whatever.
Well, too, if you pay attention to his podcast too,
I listened to his
clips.
Like
he never talks anything bad.
Oh no,
about Dusty's kids, like because
they know the business and they're doing it right.
Yeah, they know.
Except for everybody else.
well, into Jim and Dusty were very, very close, but
you digress.
But I digress. But if I had to pick right now, you got have a Jericho win here.
I think Jericho win.
That is what's going to happen. I'm very interested to see how this is going to be booked, since Cody said if he doesn't win, he will never challenge for a title match ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see MJF finally turn on Cody, or does he just get straight up pinned and that's it?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go with Jericho too. I mean, I think this was his. Besides, one match, I consider this his first real title defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he has to win. Other matches in the pre-show, we got B. Priestley versus Britt Baker. We have Janela versus Spears. Which, where the hell has Spears been all this week?
He actually wrestled this week.
Well, this week. I mean, before this week.
But yeah, he's been essentially a no show.
There's no bill with him in this match. I don't have any why.
Mm-hmm.
We have. We did those. We have SCU versus Lucha Brothers versus Private Party for the Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, like that was just like thrown together too. At the very last
I feel like SCU should retain, because why lose the first title defense?
Yeah, it would really make no sense.
Yeah. And then another match, which I don't know who this is. Is Ima Shakura versus Rio.
Yeah,
for the women's championship.
Why are these two wrestling, and why should I care?
I don't know. I don't know who Ima Shakura is.
Yeah, but I think this is where Awesome Kong is going to.
Where the hell has she been?
They have been doing. They've been doing video packages with her and like Brandy for the last 3 weeks now. So I would imagine that we're going.
There was no video package between them when we were in Pittsburgh.
Or no, sorry, the last 2 weeks, not the last one.
Oh.
I'm looking at 3 weeks.
But I've not seen those.
Yeah, but basically
I should.
They've been hyping up her return, so I would imagine this weekend we're going to see an appearance.
Yeah. Oh. And I was reading somebody's like preview of this match, and they were like really excited for Secure. I was like, I have no idea who this person is.
I mean, like,
Rihu,
I'm right there with you.
This match, maybe it's good. I don't know, but
I guarantee you, I'm barely going to be even paying attention to this match here.
Yeah. Anywho, so that's it for Full Gear, and
then that will probably.
No, I got this funny story.
Oh, okay.
And on a funny note.
Okay.
So and there's going to be no shame for me here, that my track record with the females.
We're going there.
This is not a personal story.
Oh, okay.
But this is a segue into the story. It's not really good. Messaging and whatnot, but I'm not this bad. Not this bad. I would never say this to anybody. I guess the article here is the Fox News article story. And apparently somebody on social media messaged this one girl with one of the strangest pickup lines ever. So somebody slid in this girl's DM and started out with a message saying, and this is on Twitter, and you can see this. Hey, did you hear about my granddad? And she follows up with a what? An obvious what? Somebody you've never met. Of course you're gonna go what? And he responds, paraphrasing here. Sorry, wrong person. Meant to text the girl I went to school with, but clicked on you by accident. Not thinking straight, as my granddad passed away. Sorry. And then going, taking off the headphones. Says, "Oh, you are lovely, though. You single?"
Yeah. If I was her, I would just block that dude.
Yeah, I don't think that worked.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Apparently somebody else. I guess I'm not sure if the same person tried it with somebody else. And if I say here, look at these screenshots. And she said, the guy said, "Wrong person, but you're cute." Apparently, he used the same line. And then she goes, "How do you send a message to the wrong person when you've never messaged me before?" He goes, "Oh my God, it was a joke." And it follows up, I knew I should have asked Google how to talk to a pretty girl." Oh, what the hell?
Oh God, that's bad.
And then the responses to like the original girl, the original message, there was one that was funny that I want to say was, I gotta find it, was, I guess, was his granny is single according to his statement. That's funny. So yeah, I thought that was a funny thing I found on the internet today that I wanted to say. A good funny way to end. You're just faceplant, just shaking your head.
Anyways.
Yeah, at least I don't do that.
Yeah, thankfully.
But I digress.
But
word of the day.
All right. So
I think we can end there on that note.
So guys, that's going to do it for this podcast. But Matt and I are going to be back this Saturday, recapping Full Gear.
Yes, next Saturday. Yeah,
this Saturday.
But this episode, wait a minute, this episode's going up Saturday,
right?
Yeah,
this Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're going to recap the pay-per-view after it goes off the air, right?
Oh, were we doing that?
Yes.
Oh.
we agreed on this like a few weeks
ago. Did we? I don't remember.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, my grandfather passed away. I can't think straight.
But...
okay, go. Close this.
Matt will post this podcast Saturday at our normal time.
Yeah.
And
if you're listening to this, it'll be at 3:00.
Yes. So once AEW Full Gear goes off the air, we will film a review of AEW Full Gear, and Matt will post that whatever. But as always, guys, remember to comment, subscribe, hit the like button, ring that bell,
ring a ding ding,
and stay tuned for this Saturday. So until then, take it easy.
Bye.